This is Wong, one of Sekong's favorite surrealist comics. Because he will tell you, how important is the time of birth? Someday in 2023, a magic mirror suddenly appeared in the sky above the world. Human ability no longer depends on talent and hard work. It just depends on everyone's birthday. Some people are born in better subrooms, with the ability to fly between dragons and skies. Some people even rely on being born in a perfect history. Receive the power of the nib guard. It can be extinguished with a raised hand. And because I was born in the worst end times, the ability to acquire is the ability to sequence 8 characters. An unknown one that can only be activated after a person dies. So as soon as I was born, parents just can't accept this. Actually committed suicide. It also caused everyone to stay away from me. But just now, I was invited to participate in a crusade against the recent history of monsters. A novice came up to me to talk to me. I act very differently about this. Doesn't he know my rumors? Just when I was wondering, several of his teammates hastened to pull him back. After some whispering, I only saw the name. The novice immediately showed a terrified look on his face. I'm used to this too. It was on the radio that the crusade was about to begin. Then a blue light appeared in the sky. The entrance to the magic mirror is opened. Then a large number of high-level monsters poured out one after another. First and foremost are the more capable senior players, facing fierce monsters. And not only was there not a trace of fear, on the contrary, he was very excited. Because that's how they express themselves. Exceptional strength, taboo, and I am no exception. But because my ability is not outstanding, therefore, they were assigned to the rear group, responsible for dealing with those low-level police officers. And without hesitation, I drew my sword and joined the fight. But I just shot one. If my brother doesn't work, he's already too tired to breathe. At this moment, I finally realized that I am the disparity between others. However, at this time, a brother didn't take advantage of me when I wasn't paying attention, and pinned me to the ground, unable to move. Around for a moment, all the scales of my arms are coming towards me. Just when I thought I was going to die in such shame. When I went there, I saw countless vines rising from the ground. In an instant, rescued me and everyone in trouble. It turned out that it was the rusty line of the norm human sect master. Seeing the arrival of the sect master, everyone was particularly excited because he is the existence of the 3rd grade of the divine machine, and I thank him from the bottom of my heart. But just then, the ground began to shake violently. A giant mammoth appeared. Why does the last boss appear in the back square? The line is when the crowd is messing around. I saw a sword chair attack. Splits the mammoth in two in an instant. A moment later, a silver-haired bronze, a ghostly woman appeared in front of everyone. Then he said to hand over Su Jianglin. Spare you from death. At this time, everyone was confused. I feel very different about Crepe Myrtle. To find out the identity of the man. So I quickly opened the window. View the other party's property bar. It turned out to be a guard. It's the first time I've seen a big man of this level. Why is that? Guard Yippen will find me, a nobody. But just then, the woman suddenly waved a sword chair. In an instant, dozens of people were beheaded on the spot. Then he said that since he refused to hand over the person, then you will all be buried together. The situation is critical. I wanted to come forward. The body is protected by a ball of vines. The voice transmission of the sect master suddenly appeared in his ears. Stay put. Don't lift the king lightly. Then the master walked up to the woman alone. Express your responsibilities as a leader. That is, never let any of the house number members die. A fierce battle ensued with the woman. Other teammates also swarmed. But even so, it's not a woman's match after all. In just a moment, the princess was almost wiped out. The owner was also severely injured, with only one last breath left. At the same time, I want to get out as soon as possible. He can only desperately use his sword to cut the vines around his body. After the liar, I finally managed to break through. You can see it. But it's like a purgatory. I saw the cold bodies of my teammates lying in front of me. I was absolutely devastated. I'm suffocating. If I could have stood up earlier, maybe everyone wouldn't die one after another. This is the woman who came to me. Said, it seems that you are Su Jianglin. Prepare to die. Then he swung his sword at me. At this critical juncture, I saw countless vines rise from the ground. Give up on women. But it was cleverly avoided by women. It turned out that the sect owner was Rusty. He didn't die just now. He was there recovering. But the next few attacks of the sect master, also easily resolved by women. Soon the sect master laws to women. Woman slashes through chest. It's a green light. And a violent explosion produced. The sect master actually intends to perish with the woman. Use your last magic to protect yourself. However, the smoke cleared. The woman appeared in front of me unscathed, with a look of disdain on his face. Look at this scene. I shed tears of despair. At this time, a prompt came from the window. 421 deaths were detected nearby. Do you want to steal one of them? You can also make up for yourself. I gritted my teeth and yelled. I bid all 421 people. In an instant, countless superpowers flooded into my body. And a lot of resentment followed. Although this is good for my body, caused a huge burden. But I don't care. Because of me at this moment, one feel like I can achieve anything. And women seem to. I also noticed the changes in my body. Immediately launched an attack on me. At the same time, just send my word-for-word orders too. Activate the Kensei skill. Next second, my swordsmanship reached its peak in an instant. But I didn't expect. I can only barely tie with the woman. I am unwilling to activate the eagle eye skill again. Every move the woman makes will not escape my eyes. With the blessing of 2 special abilities. This time I did it effortlessly. It seriously hurts a woman's wit. But then a strange scene happened. The wound on the woman's body actually heals on its own. Now, I was very different about this. But I can't think about it at the moment. Immediately after, I activated the summoning with a wide range. Destructive icicle skills. Prepared to compete with women. At the same time, women are also starting to use all their strength. The 2 skills began to collide violently. The energy created seems to be empty. But what I didn't expect was, I was ultimately defeated by a woman. And then it hit me. The magic of a sect master who is a guard with a woman. I haven't used it yet. So I activated immediately without saying a word. In an instant, countless thorns rose from the ground. Hipster women attack. And the magic of women. It seems that it is also because of the big move just released. It seems to have bottomed out. It's a lot of work. I seized the opportunity. Immediately used the ability to step in the air. A flash appeared behind the woman. Straight through the woman's heart with an icicle. Woman, looking at the wounds on my body that have been unable to heal for a long time. His mouth instantly revealed an expression of disbelief. I guess he didn't expect it either. Side dignified guard level bottle of queen. Will be defeated by me at the hands of a nobody? After an unwilling scream. The woman finally fell to the ground and died. And my situation is not optimistic either. The body is too severe due to injuries. Life is coming to an end. Looking at the woman's cold body. And there's a little bit of that in my mouth. Bitter smile. Because I finally got my revenge. It's a death sentence. Go to the teammate, give an explanation, just as I was about to die. A prompt suddenly came from the window. Skill reply has been automatically activated. About to recover from your injury. But I was rejected without hesitation. If I were to live alone in this world, then what's the point of my life? And I said, from the bottom of my heart, if only we could turn back time. Suddenly, my head exploded. Suddenly remembered the magic machine that had just been killed. Will the powers held by the Queen not officially return? So I did not hesitate to use my ability too. Still fast. A prompt came from the window. Congratulations on getting the return skill. You can keep your memory. Back to equity. Whether to activate this skill immediately. And I was ecstatic. Press the confirm button hard. I saw a JD.com vault line. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself in an unfamiliar environment. But the decoration of the same room is not difficult to see. This should be a cafe. At the same time, a young couple enters the store. The man claims to be here to test my marriage. But I was disappointed. Because this person is not what I'm looking for. However, what I didn't expect was, now I found out, it is no one else who comes with men. It is the future flying tiger sex sect master who rusts. At this time, he still had a young face. And the right eye is not wet either. And I was convinced. I do rely on regression to go back in time. So here I am, pen and paper, let the two write their names on it. And birthday A characters, men get particularly excited. But Shen Qiya doesn't look very happy. I suddenly remembered. He did say to me before his return. He was once forced by his parents to have sex with a descendant. Dear, after waiting for the two sprites, reach out and take the door. The birth date on it says that the man is crystal. Rusty is wood. Well known. Jinkamu. I said there was no harmony between them. Let alone dating. It's like an axe that will eventually chop at the leaves. The next second, the man was instantly stunned in place. Even his face turned black. But Rusty Tooth is very happy at this time. I feel like I can't hold it anymore. Covering his mouth and smiling, he said to the man, since James said so. I'm really sorry about that. It seems that we are really not suitable. As soon as this statement comes out, the man's emotions can't be restrained immediately. But he didn't dare to lose his temper with the rusty man. You can only vent your dissatisfaction on me. Yell at me loudly. Could it be that I was joking with him? Then he shouted to go to the store manager to reason. I had to laugh at this. And told him that the store manager is not on vacation today. Hearing this, the man immediately exploded. He turned around and was about to pull Shen Qiya to leave. He also told Shen Qiya that I was too fucking unreliable. But Shen Qiya smiled and said, in fact, my test was quite accurate. And he next. He was going to let me help him calculate his career. Otherwise, this blind date will end here. The answer just fell. The scum of man is exposed. Immediately, there was a foul language. Qiya yelled. What do you think you are? I still don't like it. But the rusty teeth didn't want to bite him at all. I can't stand it. Speak to a man. He doesn't seem to want to see the exit right now. No delivery over there. The next second, I saw that the man's face was green with anger. Then he slammed the door hard. Before leaving, don't forget to throw a ruthless sentence. Then you wait for me. Looking at the back of the man leaving. Rusty teeth are actually very calm. And I was speechless. I thought good things would come back. I didn't expect to meet such an uncle at the beginning. At this time, Qiya suddenly said, it seems that you are very good at fortune telling. Can you help me calculate my career luck? I'm naturally happy about it. So I agreed without hesitation. But just then, the ground began to shake violently. And there was a strange sound in the air. The system prompts that the global destiny system has been turned on. Although this has long been expected. But the sense of luck generated by this vibration, there's nothing I can do. I can't help but stand there for 2.5 seconds. At this moment, Zhu Yaong looked at me like a fool. Hastily pulled me to hide under the table. Because in his eyes, this is the only way to deal with earthquakes, right? But he didn't know it wasn't Goku's earthquake. However, he also reacted quickly. Asked me what happened to that strange sound just now. But I didn't respond. Because in order to avoid repeating the responsibilities before the return, I guess I'll try not to. It would be better to participate in his destiny. And I turned and walked to the counter. Have a look. Can you find something to protect yourself from nearby? Because I know that after the fate system is activated, then there will be a tidal wave of monsters. Soon I found him in the corner. I carefully carried the gas into my arms. Then he was ready to walk towards the gift. At this time, Shen Qiya on the side hurried, asked me where I'm going, and tried to persuade me to evacuate. See, I didn't make any response. He doesn't care if I say yes or no. Dragging the existence I share. At the same time, From the depths of the corridor came a piercing tragedy. Call. We saw a man running towards us. And he kept shouting. Seeing this, Rusty Tooth and I were instantly crushed and stunned. Just then, a bug took advantage of me when I wasn't paying attention. He bit my thigh straight from behind. One share, intense pain swept through my body in an instant. An instinctive reaction. And I screamed for help. Suddenly a stick hit the boog's head. It turned out to be Rusty, arrived in time. But the blow just now, far from causing the slightest damage to the bug. Instead, it caused the bugs to mutate, splitting countless bugs towards his head dog. Seeing that the rust is about to be eaten by insects. Fortunately, Su Jianglin activated Fireball in time. This barely repelled the bug and saved him. Subsequently, Su Jianglin asked Shen Qiu to quickly activate tree magic. But Shen Qiu said, his tree magic must be. It can only be sent away if there are trees nearby. But Su Jianglin said, he believed that wood could walk as well. At the suggestion of Su Jianglin, Shen Qiu finally decided to give it a try. Only see, he read a wrinkle into the wood in his hand. Next second, a green light appeared on the wood in his hand. The start of competition changes. Stretch, a million branches of life spread out. Then he used all his magic to drive the branches. The court launched an attack. But what he didn't expect was, the attacked bug actually divided again. And this time, this split worm. The number is actually more than the last time. In an instant, the two of them attacked like a tide of insects. The two were quickly cornered. They were terrified. Then Su Jianglin suddenly remembered, if ability is determined by birth date, then the rules of the birth date must also be life. The same applies to combat. So he immediately covered himself with elegant tree magic, launched Fireball. In an instant, overwhelming flames swept over. And out of that came the bugs. A miserable cry. Only 2.5 seconds, all the bugs were burned out. Looking at the ship in front of you reduced to ashes. The two of them breathed a sigh of relief. Shen Qiu also showed a smile on the corner of her mouth. But Su Jianglin ran out of magic. Unconsciously slumping and low. Even when leaving, you have to rely on Shen Qiu to stand up. Soon they came to a hall. I thought I would take a break here to recover from my injury. But then something weird happened. The wounds on the two bodies were unexpectedly fast. Auto-healing. Even the magic is back. The two were instantly shocked. Until they saw the totem master in front of them. Just realized, this is the Dragon Level 3 High Realm Baojin. He can heal humans who come near him. And it prevents abrasion. They don't understand. Why would something so powerful fail? Put it here. At the same time, a purple light appeared in the air. All have been teleported here. It seems they just got into a fierce battle with mushrooms. Just a moment. Everybody, the wounds on the body have healed automatically. At this time, everyone's faces showed difficulty. Letter expression, but some people also found that as soon as I got here, the phone started to have no signal, apparently blocked by high technology. At the same time, a short hair wearing a mask. The woman appeared in front of everyone. He introduced himself as Anna. Call him the head of the Fate Protection Agency. And from this moment on, everyone present will be under his management. His orders must be strictly obeyed. As soon as this sentence comes out, everyone can't sit still. This is clearly no different from kidnapping. They all expressed their intention to leave this place immediately. Even Shen Qiu was confused. Only Su Jianglin was unusually calm. With the experience of the previous life, he knows it's just normal procedure. Because the world will soon collapse. Until then, Shu's inexhaustible monsters will love it like a tide. And in this life, he will never back down. I will never make the same mistake again. Under the guidance of the person in charge, Anna, everyone has opened their own window of destiny. Awakened a corresponding ability. But Su Jianglin has two abilities. Destiny recognition and fate stealing. Because everyone has just awakened. Not yet proficient in the use of abilities. So Anna is going to do it to the crowd next. Special training. The training location is selected in a maze. All the rooms in the labyrinth are connected to each other. Every room is inhabited by terrifying monsters and full of dangerous traps. And the entrance is the door in front of you. Those who can come out of it alive are in pain. Then everyone received a novice gift package. There is a long sword inside, and the sum of life. 2 bottles of mana recovery potion each. Not many things, but it's enough for the trial. In order to avoid, his ability once again brought misfortune to Shen Shiya. Su Jianglin chose to work with the stronger Lin Feng teams up. A moment later, the two arrived at the center of the labyrinth. There are several different entrances. Su Jianglin doesn't know the structure here. Is it still the same as in the previous life? Therefore, the two can only find a random entry caliber. But he is convinced that the traps here and the monster should not change. At the same time, a sharp blade suddenly stabbed Lin Feng from the ground. Fortunately, Su Jianglin. In a hurry, I quickly pulled it away. I just saved my life. I didn't expect it. The seemingly ordinary passage also contains murderous intent. Lin Feng, who had imitated guard, immediately turned to Su Jianglin, expressed thanks. But Su Jianglin ignored it. Go straight to the depths of the labyrinth. Soon, the two came to a group of skeleton ghosts. The two were instantly shocked by the scene in front of them. I saw the whole body of the skeleton ghost, shrouded in a strange blue light. The case is also very harmful, and the tribute is only the crown of the 3rd grade of Chongji. At the same time, I see a magic. It condensed in Su Jiangling's hands. Next second, he immediately launched a fireball spell at the skeleton ghost. However, not to the skeleton ghost. Caused substantial harm. Instead, it managed to attract the other party's attention. Then a large group of skeleton ghosts pounced on them. Seeing this, the two could only bite the bullet and head on. Fierce battle with skeleton ghost. Although the two have just awakened their abilities. But fortunately, the cooperation between the two is not bad. Under the intersection of sword and magic, finally succeeded in destroying all the skeletons. The two of them breathed a sigh of relief. And they had no idea. And this is just the beginning. In the next second, the plane where the two were located collapsed instantly. Lin Feng agility, Dai Ammon escaped. But Su Jianglin was not so lucky. Fell directly into the bottomless abyss. At this critical juncture, Su Jiangling inserted the thread into the wall. By virtue of the friction generated between the two. That's the landing. At the same time, warning from window. You have entered a mysterious area. Monsters here are more powerful than normal area monsters. Do you want to request rescue? However, he was rejected by Su Jianglin. After all, this is a good opportunity to improve his strength. How could he let it go so easily? The first person to come to the door is still the skeleton monster. With the experience just now, this time, Zu's arrival was effortless. Kill them all. All his attributes have also seen a significant increase. At this time, Su Dengsheng was very sure, if we continue at this rate, I will be the first person to clear the level. A moment later, he finally arrived at the boss's room. He obviously feels that here and other places are different. If you really want to describe it, as if he was really in the Saber Mountain of Hell at the moment. He realized that the final boss should be hard to hear. Don't wait for his reaction. An unfamiliar boss in armor wielding a giant sword. He appeared in front of him with a twisted face. And it's wrapped around a bright red blood dance. There is a doppelganger standing next to it. Look at this terrifying scene in front of you. Su Dengdang was scared to death on the spot. At this moment, he only feels that every one of his body. It's all has. He fought his fears. Calm yourself down. Next second, I saw him swing his sword with all his strength and slash towards the violence, but this level of attack. It's like giving each other a break. No way. He can only use escape to try to think of a countermeasure. Time. Suddenly, he realized that the opponent's attribute was essence. If according to the attributes of the birth date, according to the law of mutual restraint, your own fireball might be able to help. However, due to the disparity in strength, ultimately failed. But just then, a strange scene happened. The doppelganger of the boss is to replace the master. When the boss is paying attention, cut his head off with a sword in the back. Su Jianglin was stunned in an instant. But there was no room for him to think about it at the moment. Immediately take advantage of this gap. Run to the exit with full agility. But only a few meters away, but was knocked to the ground by the doppelganger. Seeing the boss doppelganger attack him, Su Jianglin finally decided to give it a go. The remaining properties. All points added to the strength boost. His power level in an instant. Jingyu has been upgraded to level 7. Unexpectedly, this sword pierced Mang directly. Deep-rooted heart. This also allowed him to obtain a large number of attribute values. Then he launched the ability to steal. Steal the boss's sword's munchip ability directly. Don't forget to try it excitedly. Sure enough, he felt his sword. The skill ability has been greatly improved in an instant. Even, the sword in his hand also felt lighter. But it also accumulated a certain amount of night. Then Su Zhong walked to the exit of the esports straight bridge. According to the window prompt, he knew he was the first to clear the level. When he comes out of the entrance, everyone was shocked in an instant. Immediately, they threw admiring glances at him. Not long after, Lin Feng also passed the test successfully. Seeing that Su Jianglin is still alive, he's so excited that he will immediately give Su Jianglin a big hug. But he was awkwardly avoided by Su Jianglin. At the same time, Anna walked towards Su Jianglin. Yes, about him being the first person to clear the level. Congratulations. As a reward, he actually gave him a villa directly. And a space belt for objects. Although he's not very interested in the villa. But this space belt is an extremely rare existence. He couldn't hold back the joy in his heart for an instant. Immediately took it on his waist. It seems to fit quite well. At the same time, one on the phone. The news stunned him. He was on the news. Saw the grey hair that killed his teammate. Which he turned out to be the captain of the first team of the Protectorate of Destiny. In the video, he's comforting the resolvers. Looks kind and beautiful. But only I who have passed through know. It's just his acting. He kills people without blinking. I guard Hunter. Protectorate of Destiny. It's where the best of the Awakened gather. They're all wearing masks to hide their true identity. Previous life, no wonder I've never met White Eagle. He's a man in the Protectorate of Fate. That's the past. At the same time, it's in a conference room. A man is surrounded by angry delusions. They are currently discussing. Why did Su Jianglin hit the 3rd grade in one go? You can fight alone. Everyone was silent in the face of the captain's questioning. So the captain can only be angry. The fire is directed at the planning of this assessment. In the face of this incident, he has no clue. We can only deal with the traps and data as soon as possible. If the above knows to clear the customs. He's a very poor person. They may think of themselves as colluded with the examiner. He's out of luck. Never let this happen. At this time, Dagu Jun and I take a break in the restaurant on the 1st floor. Shinsuke also came here with her teammates. I'm still going to pretend I don't care. But seeing that he's doing well now. And I was really happy for him. At this moment, a joking voice. It caught my attention. It turned out to be him. I never expected to see this flower in my lifetime. Heart turnip. 1,009 men at this time, 1,009 men. I'm being courteous over there at the application amount. At this time, Jakuno proposed. I want to read the palm of Shenshu. Shenshu doesn't really want to contact him. He politely refused. However, Qianju Man took care of himself. I came up to show him. Just when we meet at the fast place. My appearance made Shenshu withdraw his hand in time. Shenshu looked at me suspiciously. For a long time, it was hard to hide that I was spoiled. His face changed instantly. In order not to expose themselves, immediately replaced by a hippie smiley face. He smiled and said, if I want to read palmistry, that's fine. I said no. I wanted to show that I was coming for him. I have something to talk about. Come outside with me if it's convenient. There are so many people here. He agreed to my request without hesitation. When I told Rusty Teeth, Celestial Ballman can pass palmistry, or touch someone else's hand. The ability to know the fate of others. Therefore, he's advised to keep his distance. Especially don't show your palms. When our conversation is over, I'm thinking of finding an opportunity Get rid of this celestial sphere man. He actually took the initiative to find me. And he asked me to go with him. Participate in the test of the second door. Since you sent it to the door yourself. Well, thank him. The second level of the Destiny Protection Bureau. Success condition. Find the ice crystal and bring it back to the lobby safely. The moment you open the door and enter, the heat rushed to his cheeks. Sweat instantly runs down the spine. Not long after entering the secret realm, the heavenly ball man just sat on the ground. This thing looks like a muddy mushroom. Pouncing at him. It turned out to be the 5-frog level. Although the attack power of the 3rd grade copper is weak. But they like to move in groups. They sense food by temperature. Therefore, in their eyes, we're just approaching the volcano. Just fat food. After killing the monster for a period of time, the magic of the celestial ball man is gradually unable to support it. He could only reluctantly use his sword to resist the demons. But when I helped him out, the twisted celestial sphere in my heart is difficult. Think of me as an extremely conceited person. Make a good relationship with me on the surface. I secretly thought of waiting until my magic was restored. Trying to sneak up on me. Fortunately, I was prepared in advance. Wrap bandages on both hands. Otherwise, this guy has long wanted to test my obligations. If he finds out that it is a heavy 3rd boat, maybe he ripped off his disguised face long ago. And then we went on a journey. We see it. There is a bright body in the center of the distant rock. And at this moment, the celestial ball man thought to himself, he's going to take the ice crystal back alone. If I can become the empty guard of the second gate. Generous rewards plus fame. Crowd worship, etc. He can put it in the bag alone. When he wears an evil smile. When picking up the bright body in the center of the rock. The touch he gave him was actually soft. As an ice cube, it's a strange sensation. When he squeezed hard, I just found out that this is actually the hair of the 5-frog. At the same time, monsters around to protect the egg swarm. At this moment, he panicked and asked me for help. Because it's not the time to worrying about self-esteem. But when he finally found time to look at me, it was my cold eyes. I said to him word by word, you brought this on yourself. Then in his constant pleading, I gradually left his field of vision. And now all this. In fact, it was already in my plan. With the screams in the distance. I am also on my way to my true destination. There is a cave in the distance. The moment I walked into the cave. Feel the cold. Fortunately, the location of the cave remains unchanged. Ice crystals grow in the cave. Crystal light shines in the cave. Ice crystal is the 3rd grade. A crystal made of ice cubes. You can increase the attribute quality when holding. Just take the ice crystal back to the lobby. This customs clearance is over. But there's something more important to me. I yelled at the system, please open the shop window. Accompanied by orders. The store system is turned on. The condition for opening him is that a shower is required. Fortunately, the shower was prepared in advance before coming here. Soon a small wooden box fell into my hand. Made into wooden box grade. Put props in a wooden box for a horse. Devout prayer. You can get the desired type of props. Compared to rank. Made into wooden boxes is a very inexpensive item. Because it's a gambling tool. Subsequently, I put the ghost 3rd grade ice crystal into the wooden box. I earnestly pray that I can change. Good stuff for weird products. After a while, the wooden box started to rumble. Immediately, a 3rd grade ghost insect called out. This is for restoration. But not what I had hoped for. Then leaning against the wall of ice crystals. Keep wishing through the wooden river. Finally, there was not much time left for the ice crystal. A strange artifact appeared. Amulet of Destiny. Level strange. Protect a part of Destiny in the birthday horoscope. Make it impossible for others to read. Last second, it was still an innocent and cute rabbit. In the next second, his fierce fangs were instantly exposed. This is the real Capricorn. Just before, when clearing the second level, in order not to stand out too much. When emerging from adversity, I deliberately put part of the crystal, hidden in the belly of the fire frog, so that the celestial ball man can find out. It's exactly what I thought. He finally saved his life. On the way back to the lost hall, saw the ice crystal. On purpose, he also became a void keeper. It also successfully became another hero in the eyes of lonely June. And the second door is too fast to clear. Makes the planners of the conservation agency face another dilemma. As planned, these initial awakeners, it must be honed after more than a month. Just start the third door for them. Because this third door is a genuine magic mirror. If the strength does not meet the standard, it's basically the rhythm of going to death. After their internal consultations, the opening time of the third door has been extended indefinitely. Before I knew it, more than a month had passed. And what's different now than usual is everybody gathered. People from the Fate Protection Bureau stand in the middle of the hall, compared to the panic on the first day. Nowadays, people are rather staring calmly at the person in the center. And then you heard the voice you were waiting for. From this moment on, access to the third gate is officially allowed. He also briefly explained why. The first and second doors are the Fate Protection Bureau, a training ground created by training. But from the third door, it will no longer be a training ground, but a real magic mirror. Will be more dangerous, more cruel. Everybody's going to be in the same place. Hear, hear. When some people start to waver. Then he added that if the monster is killed, you can collect the spirit field. And with these realms, can pass through the store bed, in exchange for the items you want. At this moment, new shop windows appeared in front of the crowd. When people talk about what's in it, he also emphasized, when everyone is killing monsters, God watches what you do. If you hear the voice of God, please do not respond immediately. Check out the newly updated manual now. So much for my advice. I hope you don't die in it. And before everyone recovered from the shock, he has disappeared from the same place. While I was also thinking about the next step, a pair of twins crept up on me. It was Yin Kun and Yin Dong. In my previous life, I had the most difficult time. It's Shen, Xia and the twins have been by my side. Although they both look the same. Same sound. But the birth date is completely different. Because of Yin Dong in his previous life, will die in the experience of the third door. Think of this. I used fate detection on this hidden art. The result is the same as in the previous life. Tip no. His life will be in danger for a long time to come. When they both invited me to the mirror. And I gladly agreed. Because in this life, I want to change my destiny. Get them back to the lobby safely. Third level. I spat. Customs clearance requirements. You need to kill more than 10 monsters of different types. The moment you open the door, a cool breeze hits. Received a system prompt at the same time. All abilities are only reduced by 10% due to the cold. As I led them through the neighborhood, soon I saw two cute rabbits. But when the twins get close, these two little cuties, instantly showing fierce fangs. This also makes to not Eve twins. Realizing once again the horror of the magic mirror. Then with the cooperation of the three, we have also collected a number of fields. At my suggestion, they each receive new equipment. Yin Kun is in charge of shooting. Yin Dong is in charge of bows and arrows. After the death of her sister, Yin Kun in her previous life, the original smiling face, never smiled again. Then he was like revenge for his sister, desperately killing the demon. After that, he relied on his rapidly growing strength. Spotted by Shora sect, one of the 5 major sects. And Shora men are. Later stage, Yin Xia led the enemy sect of Flying Tiger sect. Many members of Fei Human died in Yinkan. If I could change my destiny in this life, let them enter Yin Shi's flying tiger gate together. Or the people he killed can come back to life. But when I think about it, I look back at them. I actually only saw Yin Kun killing the monster. And Yin Dong disappeared. See my panicked expression. Yin Kun hurriedly explained that he had just gone to the bathroom. But I knew his life would be in danger. Just in case. I still started looking for Yin Dong. Suddenly, there is a rush from a distance. As soon as the call approaches, I saw Yin Dong waving to us. And there was a man half crouched beside him. It turned out that he was saving the person next to him. Accidentally fell here. When I jumped to see if he was hurt, I also saw that the person around me turned out to be a celestial bull man. At this moment, his whole body is frozen, half kneeling on the ground. In order not to let me recognize, he deliberately moved his face to the other side. Both had tried and he asked if he needed help. At this moment, his pride is wounded. With a sharp voice without realizing it. Rejected my request. Because I'm his most hated opponent. The kid is still bluffing in this situation. And I went along with that. I planned to leave here with Yin Dong. But the kind-hearted Yin Dong hurriedly added, I heard he was attacked by a powerful monster. The tail was paralyzed. It turned out that it was hit by the weakest rabbit's foot. It will be fine in a while. After my sarcasm, I left here with the twins. And the insulted celestial sphere man. Thinking harder about how to embarrass me too. Suddenly, he heard something. Or the voice of the human heart, do you want to be stronger? After a period of hunting, the sky is slowly getting dark. Random, I'm also planning to lead the cheats with the twins. But at the moment of stepping out the door, and I came to a sudden stop, because I heard a faint voice. And it's a very familiar sound. I hurried the twins back down the hall. He quickly ran to the source of the sound, because this is Shan Chia's voice. Soon after, I saw familiar faces. Rusty teeth with a few accomplices. Surrounded by white night wolves. It depends. If he were alone, he should be able to escape the siege. But behind him are a few wounded companions. He's doing his best. Use your skills to resist the attack of the wolves. And when he couldn't resist right away, when attacked by the white night wolf, I'm about to arrive at the battlefield. Come straight with all your attacks. Motivation to instantly raise the scorching flame. Just in the nick of time. I made it there. White Night Wolf is obviously the top catcher in this magic mirror. One of the eaters, but I was instantly defeated under the knowledge of my waving. At the same time, although there is no magic. But Xinxia also picked up her sword and threw herself into the battlefield. Soon after, the two men joined forces. Finally killed all the wolves. And this time, the hero saves the beauty. Rusty, who already has a good impression of me. More dependent on me. And that's not what I want. In the following days of trials, I also lead the twins. Successfully completed the task of the magic mirror. But for me, in a previous life, it's not just system tasks to be completed. There is also the killing of the 11th Emperor. Hidden rewards that can be obtained later. But then, the system suddenly prompted me. You can feel the breath of the guards nearby. And I also remembered starting with the third magic mirror. God will observe humans. Know your own awakening power and be able to kill monsters. People become hunters. And from the hunter by God, the descendant becomes an outer god, because after receiving the general of God, failed to acquire great power. And what I'm feeling so far, it's the killing intent of the guards, to avoid harm to the twins. I went alone in the direction of the breath. And not far ahead. The celestial ball man with a different imposing manner than usual. He's staring at me with evil eyes. I saw through fate and observed. At present, his level is 1 grade. And there are guards possessed. The little guest named the plague. It turned out that after his last humiliation, he actually got the general of God and increased his strength. It seems that he is ashamed to come to Yixu. At this moment, the ice energy around him instantly condensed in his hands. Then the icicle, shooting at me like a bullet. Fortunately, the one who gave him shelter was inferior. The force of the icicle is not as strong. And it took on a new meaning. If hit, the part will be instantly infected and unable to move. So I can only hide for a while. By the way, consume his magic and wait for the opportunity. At this time, the celestial ball man marked. He kept shooting at his troops. When I increased my agility, as the distance from him grew wider and wider, I suddenly felt there is the movement of a group of monsters running wild, just like God's blessing. It's just so quiet that it separates me from Qianshu. Seeing that I'm about to run away, angry defeat, broken, he shot the icicle at these ice beads. And while he was still yelling at these beads, a giant ice bead suddenly appeared. He actually used his fangs to push up the celestial ball man. It made him lose his fighting ability in an instant, when he collapsed to his feeble figure on the ground. The laughter of other guards came into my ears. Face ridicule. In so much pain, he plans to ask God for help. But now a cold sword. Deep into his body. When I want to punish the celestial ball man well, a familiar voice suddenly came from a distance. With the direction of the sound, I saw Wing Kun. Then he put away his sword and pointed at the celestial sphere. Are you lucky today? Have the courage to do it again next time? I'll take your life. Then I also welcomed Yin Kun and left. Reliable myopia, I was in his anxious eyes. I felt an ominous premonition. At this time, Yin Kun hurriedly added, just now they suddenly encountered a group of magicians. After that, Yin Dong actually disappeared. If it disappears suddenly, it is also possible that he was captured by a monster, and the sky is already grey. So we're also so lonely. He quickly got up and searched for the missing trace. And before you know it, the sun starts to set. I follow the memories of past lives, groped towards the location of the accident. All the way, we didn't see any mothers. Like this one, the region is generally ruled by some powerful creature. When we are about to turn a corner, suddenly there were vibrations and roars. In that instant, I took Yin Kun to hide behind the stone wall. With our gaze, saw a huge shadow carrying the night. A body more than 3 meters tall, mushrooms covered in hair. At first glance, it looks very similar to people. This is actually a ghost. 3rd grade snowman. It is also the 11th hidden treasure in the 3rd level. In the hands of the monster at this time, it's Yin Dong covered in blood. Yin Kun also seems to have seen this. Raise your weapon in an instant and want to hit your face. At this critical moment, I hugged him tightly. Use the Destiny steal skill first. Fortunately, there are no people to steal for the time being. This means that Yin Dong is still alive. Then I also analyzed Yin Kun. If you face the monster so head-on, we don't have much leftovers, and will end danger. Yin Dong had better wait until Yin in his hand. Dong put it down and then rescued. Followed the direction the snowman is going. We also saw his den. And then I came up with a plan. I asked him, if the snowman puts Yin Kun down, just use this flare to attract him. Then find a safe place to hide. I was there in the absence of him. To rescue the movement in the den. When I follow the plan, I find the dying surge. Just about to leave, I actually met someone who just finished hunting. Another snowman came back. It turns out that this is the residence of 2 snowmen. My luck is really bad. At this time, the snowman realizes that there is an enemy invading the realm. Eyes flashing with a thick murderous intent. Reach directly for me. When I narrowly dodge the attack. And here comes the worst news. The snow that chased after Yin Kun before. Sense of danger. Returned to the den early. And then I was faced with 2 ghosts. 3 bottles of snowmen attacking simultaneously, like performing acrobatics. Thrilling to avoid their anger. After another powerful attack, I found cracking marks on the ice. And this gave me a way to defeat them. I'm looking for a chance to kill. The law of a breath is placed underground. Then use attack point to increase agility to level 18. Inducing their different routes. The ground is already cracked, as the two snowmen fell heavily into the same snow. The bearing capacity of the ground has also reached its limit. Before these two monsters can react, the ground cracked with a bang. A snowman fell directly. Soon I also received a system prompt. A snowman has been killed, but another one is clutching the edge and struggling desperately. And when I was distracted, falling down with me. When I feel sorry for letting my guard down this time. Countless wooden piles were pulled up from the ground in an instant. Catch the falling body. And I looked up. It turns out that at this critical moment, it was Shenxia who came over from the night and saved my life. We who are accompanied by anger and fire. Often at the most critical moment. Like a hero to save the beautiful boy class will appear in time. Soon after, I was staked to the surface. I also saw traces of dying before. After being rescued by Yin Kun, is out of danger. At the same time, I also hear the system sound. Yin Kun's death fate has disappeared. Fate initiated a change. Su Kenglin, destiny level upgraded from bug 3 body to bug 2. I actually led the attack through rescue. Changed the course of fate. He was the legendary Supreme Guard of Fire. But now he is endlessly despised by the male protagonist. Just now, I felt the heart blood splatter on my face. A long-eared mushroom was sent flying by my sword. Spilled blood in the air. Bull ghosts and snakes come from all directions. But they're not terrible. Unconsciously, it gets quiet. Maybe it's because of the ability to be cheap. Clean up these low-level monsters. It's a momentary thing. Wipe the blood from the sword, while observing if there are any living creatures. The distant sound of twins was heard. Yin Kun and Yun Dong are significant others as usual. In the process, I saw a blurry figure behind them. Where is Su Kenglin? It's a voice I'll never forget. Upon hearing this voice, it's like the soul is frozen. I want to run towards them, but the body can't move. And look down. It's the little ghosts who have died. Grabbed my body. But then these monsters. He actually slowly became a member of Flying Tiger sect. Countless resentful voices answered in my ears. And at this moment, I heard Shenxia's voice. I shouldn't have taken you to Flying Tiger. The door is you who killed me. The screen changes, and here I am gasping for air. Pale. No blood at all. It's just a dream. I will never let it happen again. Or it's getting closer to reality. One might dream again. Since the last rescue of Yin Dong, they both regarded me as a benefactor. It also makes our fates start to be intertwined. Just then, the sound of someone knocking on the door. When I open the door, standing in front of me are already familiar faces. Twins, to invite me to the 4th gate. But my ultimate doom is still there. We can't deal with them. So in the disappointed expressions of the two sisters, I have declined the invitation for reasons of urgency. There is something else. After sending them away, I took out an egg that was larger than an egg. If there's anything special about him, this is the egg. It has a round mouth and a sharp tooth. Egg level with unknown name. Post-hatching judgment. It's an egg that doesn't know what will hatch. The egg depends on the type of food being fed. The shape changes. This is me killing Hyde. Reward after snowman. In addition to this reward, I also stole the water attribute of the snowman. Therefore, in addition to the original life properties, whose attributes have been added. After pondering for a while in the dormitory, after the harvest, I also officially set off for the 4th level. With the sound of the system prompt, I've also officially entered the 4th gate. The clearance requirements for this level are: you need to kill monsters to gain 1000 realms. Shortly after I entered, I hear the voices of various guards communicating in my ears. It was fairly frivolous. It is not difficult to judge that they are guards, but it has a low grade. Like a clutter, when I showed indifference to their conversation. It makes them more excited and concerned. There's even a dice log box. Swordsman invites a seance. See this name? Like the land guards in this layer. The characteristics of such guards are aims to play a strong role in related fields. If you leave this level, his function disappears. So this is a disposable deity. When I ignore guards' demands, other guards want to possess me one after another. Like a hunter, although it is impossible to cooperate directly with guard, but in the end, the choice is in the hands of the hunter. I still, ignoring these so-called divine possession requirements, it has officially entered the rhythm of killing monsters, although the number of fields to be collected is 1,000. But the realm itself has a hierarchy. So if you can kill high-level monsters, you can complete the task faster. If it was a previous life, I can only kill the smallest level of monsters. But this is where I have enough strength to challenge higher level. When I go to the next monster gathering point, here are the traces of the tragic war. The 4th floor is currently accessible from our area. Only Lonely County, deep in the delicate combination with the twins. The traces of the battle at the scene. Like Shen Xia, and the 3 of them have been here. While I was thinking, I noticed a lot of blood on the ground. And various traps. Like a monster in a magic mirror, no bloodstains left after killing. Could it be left by the injuries of several of them? And these traps suddenly reminded me of a murderer from a previous life. An ominous premonition instantly swept through his body. Intermediate stage can enter the 4th floor. Only the trio of Lonely County and Shen Xia. And the traces of many people are likely to be rusty. Their bloodstains also gradually extended to the depths. I'm thinking about the ominous premonition, and followed the blood trail to find them. After a period of time, I saw some people through the trees. The first thing that catches your eye is 4 or 5 strangers and a familiar figure. These strangers are surrounding collapsed chairs. I instantly pulled out the poisoned arrow and pointed it at them. The screen changes. The headquarters of the Destiny Authority at this time. Anna is reporting on the 3rd trial in the ice field. Celestial Sphere Man has disappeared. It could be a message of death. And there was one thing that was even more surprising to him, when collating information on trainers from other regions. One of them is actually suspected of serial murder and sentenced to life imprisonment for murderers. Right now, I'm facing these strangers. He aimed his sword at the man leaning against Yindong. People nearby also took out their weapons and aimed. And I was about to do it. It just happened to be rusty. They hastily explained that there was a misunderstanding here. It turned out that Yindong City fell into the traps they designed to kill monsters. He's now treating Yindong. They didn't think. Here except myself. There will be people from other regions. At the same time, I also used fate detection on the people here. I looked at their skills one by one. Because among these people, it is very likely that there is a mass killer in the past life. And at this moment, the person holding the medicine next to Yindong, most likely because of his superpowers, you can make yourself invisible by holding your breath. Then just in case, I decided to leave these strangers with Yindong. Because night has fallen. We can only find a place to sleep in the wild first. And when I got to safety, I lit a spark. Everyone is busy. 2 of the twins are sleeping rough for the first time. Extraordinarily excited. At this moment, I put the Wonshu incense board in the store was thrown into the spark. Immediately a wonderful aroma spread around. Send. Then he explained to the curious trio. It's called Wonshu Xiong. It is said that you can feel magic. In the process, Yindong looked at me with piercing eyes. They say I know too much. Great again. And Yinkan next to him suddenly interjected. Can you take me as your teacher? Then in my embarrassed expression. For whom are these twin senior sisters? The road to stumbling is opened again. These 2 can become the top in the later stage. The existence of killers, even if I refuse them, there is nothing I can do. Although it is necessary to be close to them. In the process. And Rusty Tooth was looking at me with interest. He actually said that he also wanted to join the ranks of apprentices. I knew he was joking. but it reminded me of my peak again. Villain, I didn't answer. He suddenly stood up from his seat. The reason why I can't rest because it's too noisy here. Left them. I clearly want to keep a certain distance from them. But the reality is, let fate continue to be entangled. Soon I was alone in the back country. By the way, thinking of my unknown balls. When the egg is taken out, in an instant, my bad message came out loud. When feeding him the leaves, I was rejected. This egg sends the message that it wants to eat meat. I really don't know this unknown guts. What kind of monster will it hatch into in the future? And shortly thereafter, I entered by myself. In some warm memories of the past life in flying human. Because of the ultimate evil words, to prevent them from getting hurt again. In this life, I can't go to Faihu again. Thinking of this, I can't help but feel lonely. But just when a person is thinking, suddenly, I heard the roar of a group of magical beasts, running to their rough sleeping place. When jumping off a tree, see, there are actually fruits around that specifically attract magical beasts. There are no fruit trees around here. It's clear that someone is trying to frame us. It was put here on purpose. Then I learned from them. During my absence, except for one pass through Lonely County. Haven't seen anyone else? Is Lonely County the mass killer? I'm following around. And remind the three of Rustia. Here in the fourth labyrinth. Except for monsters, also be careful of trainers in other areas. When I picked up the fruit that attracts monsters from the ground, I feel the movement of people around me. But when you walk in with this breath, but suddenly disappeared. And these monsters picked up the fruit at the moment. Spinning around after losing the target of aroma. That's the disaster that saved us. The screen changes. A monster was cut and fell to the ground. Lonely County wiped the blood from his face. And indifferent eyes looking down at the monster. There are mutilated corpses scattered everywhere. His hands and knife were covered in blood. Even the ground is barely discernible in its original color. He walked out of the woods bored. The number of Linyu trees obtained is also close to 1,000, if you kill a few more monsters. You can pass the 4th level for the first time. But it didn't bring him any joy. For him, he currently has no competitors. No teammates. Just kill these boring monsters. The voice of God also came from the sky. I was a little excited at first. But none of these guards satisfy him. Loneliness, like the name, makes him even more bored. And you wonder what your role is. In the beginning, he thought Su Kanglin would be another male protagonist. But on the 2nd floor, he actually lost to a celestial ball man like Ruoji. Think of this. Suddenly remembered. I saw twin sisters sleeping in the wild before. Hear them talking about Su Kanglin. It's all praise. Even when you clear the level on the ice sheet yourself. Never seen snowman. Plus a timely hero to save the beauty. Can do this. Definitely not an extra. Is Su Kanglin really a returnee? Deliberately leave me alone on the 1st floor. Hidden reward. Intentionally recommended the celestial ball man to me. For the convenience of one person. If so, all before and after. After concluding that your judgment is correct. Excited to run to Su Kanglin. And this is me. I have no idea that Dagu Jun is frantically searching. I have the map of the 4th floor. The current exploration rate is 35%. Using all my senses to find something. See my actions? What are these observing me? Curious to ask me what I was looking for. Even the patron saint of the 4th floor invited again. Want to possess me? Claim to be in this map. You can find anything by yourself. But I still ignore them. I actually asked these guards last night. Who put the fruit that attracted the beasts? But their answers were unclear. When I explore for a long time, when searching for something, successfully put the perception capacity enhancement to 250,000 with a sharper sense. I just found out now. There is a strong smell of blood around. This is not a monster. The smell of human blood. With the direction of taste, saw a corpse under the ground. But when I play Destiny Steel, there were no deaths around. This person is actually pretending. And I said no more nonsense. He directly brandished his sword and stabbed the person underground. My sword was also blocked by him in an instant. The man who fell to the ground has stood up. Ghastly eyes stared at me. Then the other party deliberately used a sigh. Like marking me. Said that the strength is better than expected. This is because of my attack. The mask began to crack. As the mask falls off, the other party also showed a familiar face. And this murderer is deeply etched in my mind. It turned out to be the previous face, the person who kindly treated Yin Dong. It's really kind. The queen is a diabolical being. Now his level is human trisomy. There are even guards possessed. And this guard-given ability can steal 10% of the killer's ability value. In just a few days, this person's ability value has actually increased several times. How many people were killed? The boyfriend June at this time does not seem to be fighting. It's a fun game. Then he muttered to himself. I was very depressed in prison. You can also hunt monsters here. I wanted to live a good life. Who would have thought that the guards in heaven would let me kill? Gave me a door. At this point, his figure slowly disappeared. Actually used invisibility. I tensed the bile all over me. Observe the reactions around you. The sound of grass being trampled came from behind. I quickly turned around, blocking an attack from behind. Unconsciously. He's gone invisible. He's really powerful when he's possessed. This resistance made my arms tremble a little. According to the current state, I can only barely resist. There was no one else around. Now, I used my fighting instinct without hesitation. This is after killing Snowfield some time ago. Stolen skills, etc., rated as ghost trisomy. If the other party is stronger than you, increase the user's ability value according to the gap. The greater the gap with the other party, the bigger the increase. With the activation of skills, I'm very competitive with my boyfriend, who is higher than me. The heart starts to boil. Me at this time. Outsiders should look more like evil murderer. Because of the drawbacks after using this skill, makes me long for greater power. The user will temporarily lose their mind. When I used my powers to kill my boyfriend County, an unexpected voice came from behind. Su Kenglin, let me help you. At this critical juncture, crazy looking for my accident. The manufacturer arrived at the scene, but now I'm losing my mind. Also see around Lonely County. After powerful energy fluctuations, I long for strength. The target was locked in an instant. Lonely Drama sees me so crazy. He gets even more excited. Even take my actions as welcome the hero's surprise. When I hit with all my might and collided with Lonely County, I just realized how powerful this kid is. Defeat me who uses inverse energy in just one move, but also thanks to his punch. It woke me up. When I sat up to absorb the recovery potion, Lonely County's words make me feel very uncomfortable, because this kid is back on me again. The screen changes. At the moment, her boyfriend Jun Jung is desperately holding back, using stealth power to escape. He never imagined Su Kenglin will be so powerful. He even had a companion. It feels stronger than Su Kenglin. This made him even more panicked. Although during the training period of the Destiny Protection Agency, death or injury, there will be no special punishment. But for the indiscriminate killing of innocents, the Bureau of Conservation will certainly not tolerate the carrot to witnesses. So powerful, but had to get rid of witnesses. Just when he was in a dilemma, a voice was heard nearby looking for him. It turned out to be Four-Wheel Drive's own companion. Hearing the sound, he stood up abruptly. Because he had an evil idea. At this time, her boyfriend, June, revealed a coquettish smile. There are also people stronger than themselves in these companions. I thought it would kill, and there might be trouble during the process. I didn't expect the other party to relax their vigilance. The slaughter ended so quickly. At this time, a system prompt suddenly appeared in front of him. To steal 10% of the killer's ability. God of Fear of the Living and Kings. very satisfied with the behavior of boyfriend bacteria, god of fear of the living and kings. Give the prop blade necklace to the boyfriend bacteria. After hanging the necklace around your neck, I feel the muscles all over my body beating. This necklace actually increased the strength by 10%. Just killed someone and captured ability points. Now there is an increase in necklaces. At the moment, her boyfriend June began to get excited again. At present, he is confident that he can kill Su Kenglin. If you can find a chance to act alone, you can kill in one blow for. Before the witnesses return to the lobby. When boyfriend June is about to search, something fell on his head. I looked up and it was raining heavily. At this time, the system shows, because the air transport of the surrounding water increases, causes a 10% decrease in the ability value of boyfriend bacteria. But the god of fear of the living and kings encouraged him. Su Kenglin is a living attribute, so it will also be tested. And he took great comfort in that. The woman wants him for the upcoming killing. Full of anticipation again. When my boyfriend June found me, I'm cutting down the trees in the neighborhood indiscriminately. Although my boyfriend June doesn't understand my actions, but with my back to him, just gave a great opportunity. Boyfriend County can launch invisibility. Watch for a jump in time. The power came to me. But what he never expected was, I anticipated his attack. Swung a sword into the air, facing a sudden attack. Boyfriend June involuntarily exhaled. Invisibility is also lifted. Despite this, boyfriend June is still full of confident evil smile. Just killed a team? There is also an increase in the blade necklace. The boyfriend at the moment obviously feels, I am much weaker than before. Just as he was proud. But unexpectedly saw my unknown smile. Then in his unease, my water attacks are suddenly increasing. And at the same time he heard, Su Kenglin's attributes have been converted to water attributes. Reduced ability value reverts to its original state, because the force of the surrounding moisture is increasing. With the addition of water properties, Su Kenglin's ability value increased by 10%. The air of water overlaps. Boyfriend's ability value is reduced by 21%. The sudden change in the series has left the boyfriend bacteria at a loss. Then he complained to his possessed god. Didn't you say that Su Kenglin is also a living attribute? But I didn't give him a chance to breathe. Continue the onslaught and apply pressure. The god of fear at the moment said to the boyfriend drama. Su Kenglin has added water attributes. It can't compare to his strength. Don't make him afraid. And so it is. The force of 2 collisions. It also makes boyfriend County confident. Then pick up the confident boyfriend drama again. Use the right shot of uprising energy. He actually set me flying with a sword, and slammed into the tree behind him. He saw my sword shattered by him. He got carried away and stabbed me in the heart, while proudly saying that it won't make me too lonely. He'll get rusty soon, they come to see me. But his voice didn't fall. A black stick. Instead, it was inserted into his chest. Unbelievable boyfriend. The soul covered the wound and wanted to retreat in embarrassment. But now I slowly pull up the wooden stick on him. Say to him word by word. You can say goodbye to the world. At the moment, her boyfriend June still wants to find help from the god of fear. Reply to him, God has cut off contact with you. Then I saw in his desperate eyes. Ended his sinful life. It's hard for me to heal myself when I see his body. It's not just you who have the power to steal the dead. Then I cast Destiny Steel on him. This time, the magic mirror harvest. It has exceeded my expectations. First of all, this one can kill the boyfriend army with one sword. It's the artifact I've been looking for. Name: Divine Spirit Grade Dragon 3rd grade who was struck by lightning. A sword made from the branches of the sacred tree. When struck by lightning, its power increases. I searched the whole mirror to get this. They even cut down the surrounding trees. And they put lightning rods on top of the branches. In addition to that, also gained the stealth skill of the boyfriend army. Guitar equipment. It even raised the level of destiny. Then a familiar voice came from the tree over there. I'm killing the sickle mantis right now. Bought from the store. Common liquid stained with mushrooms. I saw Lonely June and ignored him. On the contrary, Lonely June, who has become accustomed to this kind of treatment, continued to talk calmly. Ask me if I don't look for murder as well. Why kill these monsters? Because I also have an excuse to complete the task. Stuffed in the past, but at this moment, Dagu June suddenly looked over. The eyes are fixed on my wave terrier like a machine. Say earnestly. Did you kill the boyfriend, Army? This necklace is also his trophy, right? What a pricey guy. I make excuses. Said it was a gift from God signed with me. Failed to repel his suspicion. Even if you say so. Then I will be deceived by you once. But if you really killed your boyfriend, June, be sure to tell me the truth. Because I'm on your side. Students enter the protection of fate. It's been 2 months. Some people leave for various reasons. And now, Yin Kun's voice spread in the quiet hall. Brother Su Kanglin, please take us as your disciples. Master, we will really perform well. We're willing to do anything. In a corner of the hall, I'm sitting with Sister Yin Kun. People passing by are attracted by this girl's voice. Come here. These 2 sisters have not given up the idea of being my apprentices. But misfortune befalls those close to me. Therefore, I have not agreed to their request. At this moment, the girl added, they have received a request for possession from the guards. Here, I also curiously used fate stealing. Checked out their newly added powers. Yin Dong received the favor of the moon-hunting young guard. Yin Chun's is favored by the bowstring guard who holds the sun. It turned out to be the guard Apollo and the guard Altinius. It is indeed a good match for them. When they brought up the issue again, I replied expressionlessly that if I want to do something, find your guard. Here. Yin Kun's face showed obvious disappointment. Then suddenly remembered something. Hastily proposed to me. Asked me by which god. And in the face of this problem, I've always been expressionless, although it is only a moment. With enlightened and contemptuous eyes. But he was clearly seen by Yin Dong on the side. When it comes to awkward topics. From one side of the hall, the sound of pushing away. It's the sound of the first door being opened. And a very special-looking person. He collapsed in embarrassment at the entrance of the gate. This person was dressed in the attire of a church priest. He looks a bit like a foreigner. And as we sat him down, we pulled him aside. Hear his annoyed voice. I'm still very afraid of encountering monsters. The awakened who cannot kill monsters. I'm really a failure. This person and I were in a previous life is among the Fate Protection Bureau trainers. The staggering hunters. When the priest is frustrated and lost, I put on a wicked smile. Ask him, do you need me to help him complete the task of the magic mirror? Father Shai looked at me with a frightened expression on his face. Then he reacted. Immediately revealed ecstasy. And the 2 sisters behind him also got involved. Said to help together. When I sent them hunting, if you will be obedient, I will consider becoming a master. And the voice did not fall. The 2 sisters got out of here in a flash. Of course, I helped this priest for a reason. Because he is the character of Pure Milk Mother. Surname Ning John Rich Darren Sanping Level Guard. It is the guardian of doctors and travelers. It heals wounds. The higher the level, the less magic is used. Reduce reply speed. This is a rare talent. At the same time, in the lounge of the Protection Bureau, the leader and planner of the second team are chatting. The leader's face at the moment looks like it's easier than ever. Because in the 3rd level, Shen Shiya's head passes more than all other groups. It also brought a lot of light to the face of the team leader. In the midst of a happy conversation, a lady suddenly entered the lounge. When I see this person, the leaders for Ed ring cold again. Because this woman is the biggest competitor. The leader of the first team. And the purpose of his visit this time, it's to make a bet with the second group. Who can be the highest? The difficulty of the first time to conquer the 5th gate. The result of the bet is loser, to fulfill any wish of the winner. Then the woman left the lounge full of confidence. The screen changes. I spent 2 days with Father John. When he has completed all the previous levels, when receiving all the rewards, the priest thanked me in disbelief. And I complimented him. Without his treatment, it is impossible to complete the task so quickly, and encouraged him to be a very qualified teammate. 5th level. When we step in with a confident priest, there was a pleasant sound of waves. The view of the beach in the sun is mesmerizing. At this time, the system prompt sounded at the same time. Welcome to the Trek Room. First, the reward for the first pass of the magic mirror varies according to the difficulty. Second, this time the magic mirror cannot be used in the store. Third, you are not allowed to leave here until customs clearance. In particular, this third article, let me suffer here in my previous life. And that's why I have to bring this. The reason for the priest. This time we enter the magic mirror, although there is no time limit. But there's no clue as to what the ultimate goal is. In my previous life, because I didn't know the strategy conditions, I've suffered a lot here. Finally completed the task with great difficulty. This is the priest by the side. After reading the content through the system window, he said, "The name of this magic mirror is tongue pulling. Do you really mean to pull out your tongue?" And that's exactly what it means. It is a landscape with the island. Totally mismatched Ming Cheng. As the priest muttered. This time, the magic mirror and other magic mirrors have different volunteers. 3 new conditions have been added. The first one, the task of this magic mirror is based on the strategy of mail art, or for different compensation. The second one cannot use the system store. Before the third task is completed, can't leave this magic mirror. In the previous magic mirror level, you can also go back to the lobby to restore the business room in the middle. But not this time. No one knows how many days they will stay in this magic mirror. But we have been fully prepared in advance. Soon after, I chose a campsite away from Warcraft. After taking out the props from the storage bag, quickly set up a tent. Although these prices are slightly more expensive, and it's also a bit bulky. But I have a storage bag for the system reward. So it's not a big problem. First of all, the accommodation has been determined. Then the next step is to solve the food problem. Can't go back to the lobby? You can't use the shop window. I don't even know how long I'm going to be here. Therefore, solve the food problem as soon as possible. It is the most important point in this secret realm. Then I left the priest at the campsite. Walked into the woods alone. At the same time, deep in the woods, early access to other areas of the magic mirror. Person staring at the magical beast in front of him like a hound. And here it looks like an orchard someone set up on purpose. Although there is an ominous premonition. But, right now, their hunger is stronger than their fear. So at the urging of the middleman, everyone else rushed towards the magical beast in front. And the person who just commanded. But a familiar face. This is Choi Sang-won. Before the mirror opens. The person who was rejected by Shen Xia at my instigation. It turns out that after this person entered the magic mirror, spent a lot of money to hire some thugs. When these thugs took out their weapons, quickly solved the monster in front of him. But these monsters, judging by the exposed teeth and aggression, it should be a powerful monster. But they are not flexible. In an orchard full of fruit, these magical beasts are as thin as bamboo poles. These abnormalities made Kui Shangyuan even more uneasy. At the same time, it was ringing in his ear. Covenant with him the voice of God. That's because these magical beasts eat fruit indiscriminately. The owner will pull out the tongue. The voice just fell. The screams of a group of magical beasts suddenly came from not far away. Sounds like a mutated monkey. Everyone showed a fierce look. And seeing the guards of these monsters actually left. Kui Jr. runs faster than the other. When he desperately shouted for help, a magical beast grabbed him in the face. Forcibly opened his mouth to pull his tongue out. And just at this critical juncture, Cocoon stabbed from nowhere. Instantly killed the monster behind him. Then a terrified Kui Xiaoyuan saw a smiling face. Are you really lucky? And this man is the continued Conlon who ruined his marriage. I had already been humiliated once at the cafe. This time I was saved again. Narrow-minded, he shouted at me instead. Even if you save yourself, I will not forgive the insult at that time. And for such an ungrateful person. I don't want to talk too much. It became a cold reply. In the future, even if you kneel and beg, I won't help you anymore. Then I also ignored his existence. Directly killed the other monsters. Although these monsters are social types. But for me, who has greatly improved my combat power, they're not a big threat. The battle ended quickly after a fight. At this moment, there are no more people around. So I took out the unknown balls. I can feel his interest in underground monsters, corpse desire, but I forcefully stuffed him with fruit. Because these monsters are my food. In the evening, I'm sitting at the campsite with the priest. Begin the barbecue party. When the barbecue in front of you is sizzling and oily, I suddenly said to the priest, "Do you remember when I asked you to help me before?" As he looked confused, I took a big bite out of the barbecue. And then I explained. In fact, the magic beasts of the magic mirror are highly poisonous. So what the priest wants to help me with is heal me from now on. If the magic is not enough, there is also a need for legal restoration. Then I went crazy and ate the meat. And the priest on the side is busy once healing me again. When I pause, the priest who thought my madness was over, to see my hand reaching out to the ground. After countless treatments, finally, the voice of the system came into my ears. To obtain a new ability name, readability level. Insect samping can resist various distances. Will not be poisoned. And that's what's driving me so crazy. Fortunately, I gave it to the priest in advance. Eat food that can improve magic. Otherwise, it has not been treated yet. I might pass out due to lack of magic power. When I think of this, when I want to thank the priest, he actually fainted directly. And now the night has fallen. So I move the priest behind the tent. When I want him to rest well, I suddenly sensed a strong killing intent. And I got up from my seat. Awaken Father John. Tell him to come outside, our attacker. Tell him never to go out. If there is any danger, scream for help. When I came out of the tent, saw the people who had never seen a face before. I thought those guys were going to rip up the tent and come in. Probably coveting this tent. They were waiting for me outside. Now they are like beasts, staring at me with vicious eyes. One of them said, "If I hand over the grain obediently, they'll let us go. They're not murderers, just robbers." At the same time, I also passed through the window of destiny. Make sure they are the lowest ranked. It's a 3rd grade, but hear them. I also unconsciously showed a marking voice. Even if they say it's not a murderer. But stealing food is also equivalent to killing people. When I take up my arms and prepare for battle, they are impatient, waving his weapon at me. At this moment, after I went through the trial of the magic mirror, my dexterity has risen to level 20. Before they could even launch their attacks, my big hands have quietly pressed the brain of the person in front. Then I kicked the guy's drop with my knee. Then hit him on the head with the hilt of the sword. Under my series of actions, this person has lost the ability to fight. But at their level, combat capability, you can get food in the mirror interior. Is it just for people who move to other areas? When I cast fire magic, when planning to kill another enemy in front of you, the man shouted loudly, "My strength is better than their intelligence. Too powerful. Go back and report to the captain as soon as possible." As his words came to an end, a loud explosion suddenly sounded in the battlefield. At the same time, there was a thick layer of smoke around. Footsteps scattered in all directions. Enter into my ears. Although I considered whether to catch up with the guy, but I decided to observe in situ. Because the probability of right-wing combat is very high, and while I'm not around, it can be ruled out that they will get back to the account. Possibilities in the canopy. Subsequently, after I confirmed that there were no remaining fish islands nearby, I also opened the tent. And Father John was in tears right now, trembling all over. It should be the first time I have encountered such an intense scene. I also comforted him and said, They were there for food. In the previous magic mirror, there are frequent fights with people from other regions. So let him be extra careful in the future. Unknown person, but a priest steeped in inferiority complex. I thought he was my liege Wong. Also said, he's a person without any fighting ability. So he caused me a lot of trouble. What a speechless set of rhetoric. Like I said to him before. Now people just don't see the value of priests. Because now back in the lobby, there will be the benefit of free restoration of the business room. Even the Bureau of Protection provides pills. But what about after completing all your education? From then on, it was the true spring of priests. The guys who kicked the priest out of the team later. Got it, merchant. How expensive are the pills in the store? They will regret it. So I'm in charge of the battle. The priest only needs to be responsible for the treatment. Finally, I used the kindest eyes since I returned. Said to the priest. Although I don't really believe in fate, but I can assert. The priest will become the divine doctor who saves the world in the future. And these portraits gave him infinite confidence. Kneeling directly in front of me. The screen changes. The twin sisters dress up in field team costumes. Excitedly walked into the tent. Seeing their dejected expressions. I don't think I got what I wanted. Original. They've been in the mirror for a while. The problem is that it has never been found. The items required to overcome the magic mirror. So they can only follow. People from other regions reach temporary partnerships. Although they form groups of several people. Search for the magic mirror. But it's not hard to see that Yindong is not satisfied with this. Because the level of these people is too different from theirs. Doesn't help at all? Let Yindong unconsciously remember. I also underestimated. If you were with brother Su Kanglan, you can learn a lot. There is even a way to clear the magic mirror long ago. And just then, a long-lost face appeared at the campground. But it's not Rusty. The person they were expecting. When visiting uninvited guests. I've always liked lonely dramas. It turned out that he was communicating with the guards. Got it. The priest and I also entered the news of a magic mirror. Then Lonely June said naturally. He wanted to know if Su Kanglan was here. Just looking at his face makes him look like a twin. Miss Su Kanglan. But presumably his natural rust teeth. Look at him with cold eyes. Then Dagu Jun took something out of his bag. He gently threw it out to Shen Shia. After Shen Shia caught it in the air. Didn't show any surprise. This is the fruit picked from the orchard. The moment Shen Shia picked up the fruit, a notification window appeared in front of him. Won the Project Passion fruit. Completed the tongue-pulling room task. The difficulty is low, although the task window appears. But Shen Shia said to Lonely Drama expressionlessly. If it is white fruit, they have already completed this low-level task. And the lonely drama of seeing each other's expressions. Show a happy smile. You really don't meet the low-level tasks. Worth being my supporting actor. So I'm going in with you. Hear this sentence. The twins instantly showed anger. Because Dagu Jun is to Aragut corner. The humiliation they feel. The reaction to twins. Dagu Jun did not show any disappointment or surprise. After observing the twins in silence for a while, he said, well, it looks like you're the self-respecting type. Then I can only convince you with strength. And at this moment, rusty teeth that have remained calm are rare. Show an angry expression. Shouted to Lonely County. Before I subdue you with force? Please leave quickly. And Lonely County doesn't care who it fights. Because in his eyes, these people are just supporting characters. But if you really want to learn from each other, among these people, the most powerful Shen Shia made him the most excited. Wen Yindong is confused about how to stop the fight. The husband's door was suddenly opened. Then an owner on the periphery shouted in a hurry. Near the campground, someone is cooking. The monsters on this island have distance within their bodies. Therefore, the explorers currently stranded in this magic mirror. It can only reluctantly feel the abdominal muscles through the fruit. So they haven't tasted fresh food in a long time. A lonely drama that is about to start. Hearing someone cooking around. It was still murderous just now. Disappeared in an instant. His eyes also began to become gentle. At the same time, I am not far from the silver strength. The delicious food is cooked on the campfire. Today is the 10th day for trainers to enter the magic mirror. And so it was with food brought in from outside. Almost the time for starvation is short. In this magic mirror, all you can eat is the fruit in the orchard. And the cold and poisonous grass and monsters. So the value of good food skyrocketed. They should happily accept. When I was thinking about a bowl of soup, how much is charged for a shower? I heard Lonely County and Shen from a distance. She is cool. And I ignore Lonely County. When greeting Shen, Chia, he said to me in a hurry, "The monsters in the magic mirror cannot be eaten. It's toxic." This caring personality. It really hasn't changed at all. And then I explained. The poison in the meat has been known to me. I handed him a bowl of broth. But I'm not finished yet. Lonely County. And he took the broth right out of my hand. You have the cheek to say that you will taste it well. I'm not a bodhisattva. I decisively asked Lonely County for 1,001. This price, no matter how you look at it, you don't want to give him food. But Lonely County didn't look unhappy. Open the trading window. At the same time, the rusty teeth also showed a yearning look. And I can just say 200 reputation directly to him. For sudden price drops. At first, it was unfair. But when I heard that this is the price determined by the owner's mood, he actually said that Shen Xia is the heroine. So it's understandable. But except for Shen Xia, for the rest of us, I sold a bowl of meat for more than 200 yuan. Soup unknowingly. Many people gathered around the quiet tent. He started to gobble down the food. And then, after their meal, they learned. Neither of these two enemies is currently known. How to obtain high-level clearance tasks. A lonely drama of solitary action, even by the trainers in the first region. Aimed at. This time, it seems to be similar to the previous life. I heard that the competition at that time was quite fierce. And they both gave me an olive branch. And I was taken to the barricade by them. Still resolutely not going with them. For my persistence. Lonely County's expression is sorry. But Shen Qiu's expression was very worried. Because it will be very hard to face people in the low area alone. And they will try their best to get in my way. So whenever we meet each other, it was intense combat. For his advice, I looked instead at the priest. Tell them to take good care of the priest. If you follow me, the mirror made him even more dangerous. And the reason I insist is, want to go to the first area alone? Understand the reasons for the competition. Then under Shen Qiu's worried gaze, I left the tent. Although it doesn't matter if you fight alone. If you leave the priest alone, there could be serious consequences. After I've sorted out the surrounding monsters, went deep into the orchard. When I arrived here, I began to see the blue fruit. According to the memories of past lives surrounding areas with such fruits, there should be a powerful magical beast guardian ability. When might try it now, mindset casts perception powers. A huge monster. Unknowingly, it has arrived by my side. This is a giant star beast. It's hard to imagine where he popped out of nowhere. I didn't have time to think about it. Hastily holding his breath, he used his stealth skill. In the midst of the behemoth's doubts, I've quietly come behind him. Then I swung my sword without any hesitation. As my sword moves quickly across the sky, the head of a behemoth is like a fruit, fell to the ground. And it was as if nothing had happened to me. Pick the fruit again and start gnawing. The fruit here is called Qianguoxiang. It is possible to complete tasks with medium difficulty when. But there is another one for this fruit. Getting to know him can increase my reading ability. Not long after, I heard it too. Readability level raised to bug. Yippen system sound. And just then, under the branches came a group of unfamiliar faces. But look at their actions. It's like coming to find me. Asked me directly if I'm Su Kangling. And said that their boss has something to do. Asked me to go. Although there is a threatening element in the words. But I was going to learn about the first district. without much hesitation. Just promised them. Went to their camp together. People here. There are actually twice as many people in our area. No wonder the first pass reward in the previous life. It was robbed by the people in the first district, although these people saw unfamiliar faces. But no one dared to go forward and slay the dragon. And when I opened the tent and went inside, a Fangtian who well with a hand appeared in front of him. A burly man half naked. Self-proclaimed Hong Daxon. Level is weird. Dear, this person is really good. Only the 5th level. He was able to get so amazing. Fangtian Wajing Grey Dragon 3 body. Can be used to stab him. Weapons with multiple uses, such as strikes. Has a strong attack power. And I was watching him. He actually launched an attack without warning. Upgrade pointed at my eyebrow shape. Asked me to assist them. If I agree? Intermediate level customs clearance tasks will also be used as rewards. They thought they could buy me off with this kind of condition. It turns out that they haven't found the superior yet. Difficulty clearance plan. But I didn't want to give the original strategy to these people. Then I just ignored them. As he was about to leave the tent, Hong Daxon said triumphantly, "This place is not for me to come when I want. Where you can go. If I don't help them honestly." He even threatened to kill me. At the same time, a few men with weapons blocked my way. Despite this, I'm still unwavering. Pulled a token out of his pocket. At first, he was still a dazed Hong Daxon. After seeing that this is a warning token, his face instantly became stiff. The credibility of revenge, if the person holding the item is killed by someone else, will brand the murderer with revenge. Murderer will be the target of the head of the Fate Protection Bureau. And this token is before entering the secret realm. The team leader specially gives the best students with comprehensive evaluation. Let him have a life-saving blessing. The accompanying requirements are, must win this time. The most difficult hand pass in the secret realm. At the same time, if the first pass is successfully obtained, there will be additional supplementary incentives, and Hong Daxon seems to know what this is. Just murderous. He's hesitant to hold the weapon at the moment. Because of the Fangtia painting halberd in his own hand, he's also the leader of his own team, so that he can defend the air, and the guard level weapon given in advance. At this time, Hong Daxon unconsciously asked me, "Did you also receive the task of the team leader in advance?" Then I realized, why are the people in the first district like this? Madness hinders us. It turned out to be the leader of each group. There is some kind of bet between. When I think of this, Hong Daxon shouted to those who besieged me, "Everyone, you must not kill Su Kanglan in front of you. Because I have a strange possession spectrum on my hands. Even mistakes. Just kill me. That person will also die." Then he continued in a sarcastic tone. "Although you can't kill me, but it can cripple me." At the end of the speech, these people swarmed up without hesitation. But I can be caught so easily. I wouldn't have come here alone. First of all, with dexterity, escaping little Rollo's attack. Maimed 2 enemies. And then I went straight to invisibility. Disappeared in place as they looked dazed. This is the last time I killed my boyfriend Jung-hoo. Stealth of plunder for a second. And I didn't plan to let him go so easily. Then I, using stealth to intersperse through the crowd, knocked down some weak fighters one by one. When they were under the command of Hong Daxon, reunite and take over the foundation. If invisibility is used in confined spaces, likely to collide with these people. So I quietly left the battle zone. While they were still looking for me in a hurry, I will directly use the flame for 1 second. Ignite the various tents in the first district. Their camp was instantly overrun by bears, surrounded by blazing fire. In the process, I threw the devil into the burning place again. Scattered with the aroma of magic peaches, the nearby monsters began to swarm. Through this expedition, I finally figured it out. Why was there such a fierce battle in past lives? It turned out to be because of the Fate Protection Bureau. There are even deaths, and this